My name is Farmer John, and I grow medical marijuana for the medical marijuana community. I've been growing since 1977. So let's see here. I've been growing for for almost 40 years. I'm 52 years old. I was born in 1962. I helped the family that brought Purple Kush into the United States distribute that product during the late 70s and early 80s. Anyway, that's a little bit of the history about myself and my experience. But anyway, let's get to the point. Re-vegetating the marijuana plant for generational growth. All the literature says re-vegetating a plant cannot be done. I've been doing it successfully for over 30 years. Here's how you do it. At the end of the crop, when you reduce the plant by removing the buds, okay, leave some of the lower buds, that's the low stuff, all the low vegetation on the lower on the stalk, leave some of that on the plant. When the plant revegetates, it's going to revegetate from the buds. That's where the new growth will emerge from. Now, after you harvest your crop, leave at least a ½ ounce of buds at near the base of the plant. Okay? Remove, I'd say 80% of the rest of the plant. Okay? Leave as many leaves as you can and leave those lower buds on the plant. Now, get your calendar out. Mark that day as day 1. Okay? You're only going to have to wait 17 to 21 days before the plant will, basically it's going to alter itself from its death cycle, and it's going to change, or should I say, basically it's going to turn itself into revegetating. And once this revegetation process kicks in, the plant is basically a brand new plant. So after 17 to 21 days, you're going to see a brand new explosion of growth. Nice neon lime green growth, and it's going to come out of those lower buds that you left on the lower part of that stalk, and it's going to explode. And each one of those growths is essentially a brand new plant. So you just leave a dozen or so of those new shoots on those buds, the low part of the plant, and let those grow, and those are going to be your new branches, and boom, you're off to the races again. Now, let me tell you the advantages of revegetation. When the plant comes back after being revegetated, it is more resistant to strain, stress, and disease. The yield is greater. The potency of the plant is much greater. And this happens with each successive regeneration. Okay? And you can revegetate a plant or regenerate it as many times as you want. I've personally grown the same plant for over 3 years and cropped that one plant over 12 times. I was getting 4 crops a year. So I got over 12 crops out of one plant. With each successive crop, with the successive generation, the plant, like I said, comes back with a larger yield. The yield is much more potent. The plant is much more resistant to disease, stress, and strain. So it's basically a super plant. And the plant gets stronger and stronger, like I said, with each successive revegetation or generation. So there you have it, folks. Any one of you should be able to take your plants at the end of their life cycle, reduce the feed, this is key, reduce whatever feed you're giving them down to a bare bones minimum. All you have to do is keep that plant alive. You don't want it to hyper grow or anything like that. It's going to be dormant for about 2.5 weeks. Okay? So you just want to keep it alive while it's dormant. And then it's going to, basically, it's going to restart itself in the form of a brand new cycle, new vegetation cycle, and it's going to revegetate and grow fast and give you another crop. Oh, and incidentally, when you do revegetate your plants, you're going to find out that it's going to shorten the crop period. You're going to go from like a 120-day crop to a 100-day crop, because you shaved at least 15 days off of the beginning of the cycle by not having to germinate seeds. You're starting your next crop, your revegetated crop, with an existing, very well developed root mass, an exceptionally well developed stalk, and it's all there and ready to grab nutrients for the next round. So everything grows at a much more accelerated rate with each successive crop, because you have that established root system and stalk system all prepared to make the plant grow. So anyway, do this. Wait 17 to 21 days, reduce the feed down to an absolute minimum, keep the plant alive. Okay, just focus on keeping it alive. It's going to look dead, but forget about that. Keep removing the dead leaves, and you know, remove all that dead vegetation off the plant as it dies. But the buds that you leave on the plant will look as though they're dying, but leave them on there, because that's where the new explosion of vegetation is going to come from. You have to leave the buds on the plant in order for the plant to revegetate. If you remove the buds, you've killed the plant. It has no ability to revegetate. So leave at least a ½ ounce of buds on the lower part of the plant. Now you're going to love this, because each, like I said, each successive regeneration or revegetation is going to give you, like I said, a stronger, healthier plant, a bigger crop, bigger yield, and a much more potent yield. You take seeds from the end of each one of these crops, because the plant typically reseeds itself right at the very end. To this is one way that the plant will preserve itself, self-preservation, seeds itself at the very, very, very end of its stage, at the end of a crop. So collect those seeds, and now you have exact copies of whatever that plant will produce on that generation. And keep doing this with your successive generations, and you'll have seeds that no one else has ever seen, a plant that no one has ever seen, and an effect that no one has experienced off of that plant. So basically you're generating or developing a brand new strain with the subsequent generations. So do this. 17 to 21 days, new explosion, reduce the feed down to an absolute bare bones minimum, keep the plant clean, remove the death as it dies, and just baby that plant, nurture it, keep it alive for 2.5 to 3 weeks, and boom, revegetation occurs, and you never have to kill that plant. You keep the plant that you absolutely love, and you keep it alive for as long as you want. There's the key in revegetating plants that the literature says cannot be done. I've been doing it for over 30 years. Now it's time for the rest of the world to enjoy the process that I've perfected. Enjoy it. I'm glad that I'm able to share it with you. Happy growing, everyone. From John Seary, Medical Marijuana, Farmer John, and my farmer's market. That's right, folks. That's what I'm doing here in the Northwest. My goal is to grow medical marijuana for the medical community, providing them a free source for their medicine. That's right, you heard it from me. Free. They will no longer have to purchase their medication. It's really simple, folks. You make the recreational community pay for your overhead, and you give the medical community their product for free. There it is. Enjoy this information. I wish all of you a very, very, very successful harvest. It's been great talking to you. Have a nice day.